I just wanted to continue to talk to you about the people that I have been referring to who are just talking about people today who've rejected the truth of the gospel, and that when you compare them to people like Sodom and Gomorrah, like even in Jesus' day, he said um, that the people of Sodom and Gomorrah would have repented a long time ago in dust and ashes if they had had the works that he did done amongst them. And so he was criticizing, like, was it Chorazin, or he was criticizing some cities that were in Israel at the time, and I think we could compare a lot of our American cities to that right now, American cities or cities worldwide, where the gospel has been preached, where the work of the gospel has been done. And sometimes I think that it hasn't been done effectively enough. When I went to Montana, I believe that no one had ever really gone and done, like even in the early 1900s when Smith Wigglesworth was here, and there was revival on Azusa Street in LA. I wondered if Montana had really been touched by any of that, and if the work of the Holy Spirit had really been done at all there effectively. And that was one of the reasons I felt the Lord was calling me to go there. But um, so there are places where really maybe it hasn't been effective enough, but at the same time people have heard the gospel, they've heard the truth, they've had access to the truth, and they've rejected it. So um, just like the people that Jesus was addressing in Israel, and he was saying, "Oh, woe to you! Sodom and Gomorrah would have repented long ago." Well, um, that's what we see today. And so what my point is that the people that you deal with um, in law enforcement and in the military, the people that you deal with are we are dealing with people today that are worse than people ever before. They really are worse. And like um, what is worse, the worst thing about them is, people are so good at appearing righteous. They're pastors. They're pastors. I've discovered they had to have been false. Um, that I trusted, that I loved. There and there are a lot of parishioners. There are a lot of people. They go to church. They put on a good facade. So people are really good at doing that today. They're masters of disguise. But at the same time, they are just they are so evil. I mean, we're dealing with evil today that we have never seen before, and especially after the Holy Spirit has been working in a place, and then those people reject it, reject God, and then after that they just get worse yet, and we're just really dealing with an unprecedented um, level of evil today, and the people that you deal with, are a reflection of that. I found a passage in 2 Peter that I thought was applicable to this, where it's, God, first it says, God, if God did not spare the angels who sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved for judgment, and did not spare the ancient world, but saved Noah, one of 8 people, preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood and the world of the ungodly, turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah to ashes, condemned them to destruction, making them an example to those who afterward would live ungodly, and delivered righteous Lot, who was oppressed by the filthy conduct of the wicked. For that righteous man dwelling among them tormented his righteous soul from day to day by seeing and hearing their lawless deeds. Well, then the Lord knows how to deliver the godly out of temptations and to reserve the unjust under punishment for the day of judgment, and especially those who walk according to the flesh in the lust of uncleanness and despise authority. They are presumptuous, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignitaries. Whereas angels who are greater in power and might do not bring a reviling accusation against them before the Lord. That's interesting. But these, the natural brute beasts, made to be caught and destroyed, speak evil of the things they do not understand, and will utterly perish in their own corruption, and will receive the wages of unrighteousness as those who count it pleasure to carouse in the daytime. They are spots and blemishes, carousing in their own deceptions while they feast with you, having eyes full of adultery, and that cannot cease from sin, enticing unstable souls. They have a heart trained in covetous practices, and are cursed children. They have forsaken the right way and gone astray, following the way of Balaam, the son of Beor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness. But he was rebuked for his iniquity. A dumb donkey speaking with a man's voice restrained the madness of the prophet. These are wells without water, clouds carried by a tempest, for whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. And this just describes to me people today so well, because what I was saying is they have pretensions, so they seem good, but if you have any spiritual perception at all, you can perceive the just unprecedented evil that's underneath. And what I was talking about before, the consorting with the devil, the demonic, the consorting with the devil to do all kinds of things through demonic power, which I think people way back in the early days, in medieval days, they had some awareness of this, and they were trying to deal with witchcraft, but they didn't deal with it effectively, like I was saying before. And so because of that, just sort of sealed not dealing with it at all again. But I wonder, when I read this passage in Peter, I wonder how much the early church and even these apostles really understood the people who are, they were like Judas, but they're playing this game where they are inside. They're consorting with the devil and doing all these things through demonic power. I'm not sure how much you don't read about it much. I mean, hardly at all, almost not at all. And you wonder how much they knew about that was going on, because that is the order of the day. Is just having a facade, and then underneath doing all of that, and being involved in invoking the devil's power and causing all these things to happen to people. And it's just the things that have been done is just incredible. This is the real evil, is this secret evil that's been going on. And I tried to point out before, it had connected with so many deaths and so many things that have happened. And but this is the real evil in it. It's just I just really wonder how much the early church realized that this was going on, because I think it has been going on from the very beginning with neo-pagans who decided, okay, we're going underground, we're going to do this thing secretly, we're going to do all our stuff secretly. I just wonder, and like God has just so incredibly revealed this to me lately, and for me, it's just a staggering reality.